Hello students, in this video we'll study about melting points of transition metals or D block elements. So how it varies. So melting points. The melting points and boiling points of transition metals are very high compared to those of representative elements. So D block elements in the transition metals are having very high melting points as well as boiling points. Be compared to what, compared to representative elements. Representative element means S block and P block elements. Compared to S block and P block elements, transition metals are having very high melting points as well as boiling points. Next one, the high melting points and boiling points of transition metals are due to their close packed structures and strong metallic bonds. So metals are having metallic bonds. Due to that strong metallic bonds and close packed structure of metal, they are having very high melting points as well as boiling points. Next one, even the melting point depends upon number of unpaired electrons in d orbitals, because if the number of unpaired electron goes on increases, the metallic bond get stronger and stronger. If the metallic bond is stronger and stronger, then melting point or boiling point will be higher. So if the number of unpaired electrons are more, then metallic bond will be stronger, then high boiling point and melting point will be there. Other than that, heat of atomization. So heat of atomization means energy required to convert into atom, molecule into atom. Okay, always some crystal lattice, some all atoms are arranged. So those atoms, to make individual atoms, whatever the energy required is called heat of atomization. So heat of atomization also affect the melting point. Then strength of metallic bond, that only I told you, strength of metallic bond depends upon number of unpaired electrons. The strength of metallic bonds depends upon the number of unpaired electrons. Means greater the number of unpaired electrons, stronger is the metallic bond. So already I have explained you students the same thing. You can see now, you can see there is a graph that is a melting point against transition metals. So in that first transition elements, that is a 3D series elements, titanium, vanadium, chromium. Titanium, vanadium, chromium. So melting point is goes on increasing there. Then on going across the period, the melting points first increase, attain the maximum value, then steadily decrease as atomic number increases. So titanium to chromium, it is increasing. Then after chromium, it is almost constant. So why it is constant? The reason for the type of behavior is up to D5 configuration. The number of unpaired electron is goes on increases. Therefore, the number of unpaired electron also goes on increases. The due to that, what happens, the metallic bond gets stronger and melting point goes on increases. So what happens, titanium, vanadium, chromium. So if you just, with the increase in the atomic number, even number of unpaired electron also goes on increases. Up to d5 configuration, what happens, the unpaired electron goes on increasing. So unpaired electron goes on increasing means metallic bond stronger and stronger. If it is a stronger and stronger, then they are having high melting points. So that's why, so from titanium to chromium, it is goes on increases. Then after chromium, you can observe here manganese and iron, cobalt, nickel, copper and zinc is given. So after that, what happens, manganese is suddenly decreased to 281, that is kilojoules per mole. Then iron, cobalt, nickel. So after D5 configuration, what happens, the number of unpaired electron goes on increases, but the number of unpaired electrons also goes on decreasing. So after D5 configuration, what happens, number of electron go on increasing. So electron is goes on increases, but the number of electron also goes on decreases. Electron ಹೇಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದಿವೆ, D5 configuration ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್, ದೆನ್ ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ವೀಕರ್. That's why the melting point goes on decreases. Melting point goes on decreases. Then next, second transition series, zirconium. So in that manganese and technetium in 3D and 4D series respectively have abnormally low melting points, manganese and technetium. Remember students, This is because due to their weak crystal lattice, they are having very weak crystal lattice. That's why they will easily melt. That's why they are having very weak melting points, manganese and technetium. Then zinc, cadmium, mercury have low melting points because very low melting points, zinc, mercury, cadmium, because the reason is completely filled d orbitals. There is no unpaired electrons there. Okay, the metallic bond is totally weak. That's why they are having very low melting points. The next one, I will move with ionization enthalpy. So ionization enthalpy already we have studied in the first PUC. So here also already in first PUC we have studied ionization enthalpy means the energy required to remove the outermost electron from isolated gaseous atom. So that energy we will call it as ionization energy or ionization enthalpy. So even we have studied ionization enthalpy across the period goes on increases, down the group goes on decreases. Again, ionization enthalpy, same definition already I told. The amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron from an isolated gaseous atom in its ground state. In its ground state. So ionization enthalpy is measured in electron volts or kilojoules per mole. Ionization enthalpy is measured in electron volts or kilojoules per mole. Now, factors affecting the ionization enthalpy. So, factors also we have studied in the first PUC, which all factors affect the ionization enthalpy. So, in that, first one, nuclear charge, how the atomic number goes on increases, the nuclear charge also goes on increases. Then second one, atomic radius. So, across the period, atomic radius goes on decreases. Down the group, atomic radius goes on increases. Then third factor is shielding or screening effect, the attraction between outermost electron and the nucleus. Okay, is called screening effect or shielding effect. Now these three factors affect the ionization enthalpy. Now we will see ionization enthalpy, how it affects. So here again one more graph, that is the ionization enthalpy in kilojoules per mole and transition metals. So first I will take a first series, that is a 3D series elements: titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, and zinc. So here zinc I have not shown. So first, it's observed that the first ionization energy increases, but the increases is not very regular. So in first POC we have studied across the period ionization enthalpy goes on increases. But when we study in detail of D block elements, here we are observing what we are observing. So the increasing order is not very regular. See here titanium, vanadium, chromium, suddenly it is decreased, again it is increased, again decreasing order. So increasing order is not very regular. Then then this is because the removal of one electron would reorganize the energy levels between ns and n minus 1 d orbitals, and transfer of electron takes place from ns to n minus 1 d orbital. Means what? Now for example, ns is nothing but a valence cell, n minus 1 is nothing but a penultimate cell. ns is a valence cell, n minus 1 d is a penultimate cell. Now if you remove the electron from ns, if you remove the electron from ns, let us consider only one electron is there in ns. If you remove that electron, what happens? Next, the energy level will reorganize. Now what happens? Nucleus to outermost valence cell, whatever the energy was there, so whatever the screening effect was there, so outermost, in valence cell there was one electron. Now what happens? Now only the valence cell becomes penultimate cell only when it becomes penultimate valence cell, because there is no electron in the valence cell. So it reorganizes the energy levels, and even the electron transfer can take place from where? ns to n minus 1d. So due to that reason, the increasing order of the for ionization enthalpy of first ionization enthalpy is not very regular. Then you see second series. So second series also same, the increasing order is not regular, but first two element it is decreased, then the increasing order is there, again last one is decreased, that is a silver. Then even see the next series elements, it is increasing order, but somehow some irregularity is there. Now it is observed that the first ionization energy of 5D series is also quite high. So 5D series is having first ionization enthalpy is highest. First ionization enthalpy is highest for 5D series, then 4D, then 3D. Next, this is because the added electron enters F subshell, due to which the shielding is extremely poor towards the valence electrons from the nucleus. So if the electron enters into F block element, okay, in 5D series what happens? The electron, the last electron enters into F block. So F block means it is a pre-penultimate cell. So after pre-penultimate cell, there will be penultimate cell, then valence cell. So what happens? The shielding effect. Whatever the attraction between pre-penultimate cell electrons and nucleus will be more compared to nucleus and valence cell or penultimate cell. That's why. That's why the 5D series is having highest ionization enthalpies. First ionization enthalpies. Now, the first ionization enthalpy and second ionization enthalpy and third ionization enthalpy will compare. That is in kilojoules per mole is there. So in this table, first transition series elements are there. That is scandium to zinc. Scandium to zinc. See there in the scandium to zinc. So in the first ionization energy 631, 656, 650, 653, 717, 762, 758, 736, 745, 960. So increasing order is not very regular here also. And the second ionization enthalpy also you see the increasing order is there but not a regular. Then third ionization energy also you see. Now in this case, first ionization energy of a transition element is in general increase. In general it is increasing, but increasing is not regular. See here 656, 50, again 53, here from here it is increased. Okay, then the value of the value is higher. The second ionization enthalpy of chromium, second ionization enthalpy of chromium is very high, because due to half filled 3d5 configuration. Means from chromium the electronic configuration is 4s1 3d5. Now first ionization enthalpy means you are removing one electron, so 4s1 electron gone. So now only 3d5 will be remaining. For second ionization enthalpy, you have to remove the electron from 3d5. So half filled orbitals are more stable. So in a more stable, whatever the compounds or elements are there, in the more stable elements, more stable atoms, if you want to remove the electron, there we required high energy or high enthalpy. That's why the second ionization enthalpy of chromium is very high. So even copper, you see copper electronic configuration is 4s1 3d10. So if you remove one electron, then it becomes completely filled d orbital, that is 3d10 configuration. You will get 4s1, one electron you have removed, that is a first ionization enthalpy. So one more electron if you want to remove, that is from completely filled. So completely filled means again it is more stable. So there also we required what? High energy or high enthalpy. So that's why the second ionization enthalpy of copper is very high. Even in the case of iron also. In the case of iron also. So iron atomic number is 26, 4s2. Okay, 4s2, then 3d, 4s2, 3d6. Now one electron if you remove, then 4s1, 3d6. Two electron if you remove, 4s0, 3d6. So 4s2, 3d6. In that now three electrons if your third ionization enthalpy. Then that time it is half filled. 3d5 configuration it is having. So 3d5 configuration, sorry, 3d6 will be there. So to achieve 3d5, you have to remove one more electron there. That's why what happens? The value is very low here. It is opposite here. There it is very high due to half filled and completely filled. Now here it is very low because the value is low because it wants to achieve half filled 3d5 configuration. So these two are what? High values because half filled and completely filled. So this is very low because to achieve half filled configuration. Then in general zinc has high values of ionization enthalpy due to completely filled 3d10 configuration. So application of ionization energy or application of ionization enthalpy. So what are the application of ionization enthalpies? So in the first, it will very it will helpful for predicting the thermodynamic stability of metal compounds. So ionization energy is very helpful in predicting the thermodynamic stability of metal compounds. Now see here, I will take nickel and platinum, two examples. So first, the sum of two ionization energy, first ionization energy, second ionization energy, and second one I will take the sum of four ionization energy. It is nothing but what? Removal of two electrons, whatever energy required, removal of four electron, whatever energy required. From nickel, if you remove two electrons, then it will get a nickel plus 2. Platinum, if you remove two electrons, then platinum plus 2. The sum of ionization energy, first ionization energy and second ionization energy, is nothing for nickel plus 2, and even nickel plus 4 and platinum plus 4 for second column. Now, the values whichever they are given, one is 2.49 into 10 raised to 3, one more is 2.66 into 10 raised to 3. So, it is nothing but removal of 2 electrons. For removal of 2 electrons, required energy. Now, or required ionization enthalpy. So, whichever ionization enthalpy is lower, now 2.49 is there and 2.66 is there. 2.49 is the lowest value. That's why nickel plus 2 is more stable than platinum plus 2. That's why nickel plus 2 is more stable than platinum plus 2. Even you see second case, the sum of 4 ionization enthalpy is there. Now you compare nickel plus 4 and platinum plus 4. So out of these two, which value is lowest? 9.36 into 10 raised to 3 is lowest. 9.36 into 10 raised to 3 is lowest. Now platinum plus 4 is more stable compared to nickel plus 4 because of ionization enthalpy. So it is application of ionization enthalpy. It will help to predict the stability of the ions. So here nickel plus 2, platinum plus 2 and nickel plus 4, platinum plus 4 I have explained. So nickel plus 2 is more stable than platinum plus 2 and platinum plus 4 is more stable than nickel plus 4. Next one, next one, oxidation state. Next one, oxidation state of d block elements or transition metals, oxidation states of d block elements. So d block elements or transition metals are having variable oxidation states. So take an example, potassium permanganate, KMnO4. In that, manganese is a d block element. Now we will find out the oxidation state of manganese. So in this case, potassium is having plus 1 charge and manganese we will take it as X because we are calculating the oxidation state of manganese here. So that's why we have taken it as X. Then plus oxygen charge is minus 2 and there are 4 oxygens. So 4 into minus 2 is equal to the net charge on the molecule is 0. So then you will get X is equal to 7. So KMnO4 in that manganese oxidation state is plus 7. Same way I will take one more. Dichromate ion I will take. Dichromate ion. So in the dichromate ion, chromium oxidation state. So chromium we are calculating, it is a d block element. So 2 chromiums are there, that's why we will take it as 2x plus 7 oxygens. The charge of oxygen is minus 2. 7 into minus 2. Then the whole charge on the molecule is minus 2 is equal to minus 2. Then again we will get X is equal to plus 6. So d block elements or transition metals, they are having variable oxidation state. Best, these are two examples. Now the oxidation state. What do you mean by oxidation state? The net numerical charge present on an atom. The net numerical charge present on an atom of an element in a molecule or ion is known as oxidation state or oxidation number. So once more I will repeat. The net numerical charge present on an atom of the element in a molecule or ion is known as oxidation state or oxidation number. So all the d block elements have tendency to lose the electrons. So all the d block elements with all are metals. So metals have the tendency to lose the electrons. Hence the d block elements or metals will show positive oxidation state. So almost d block elements will show positive oxidation states. Now if you find out the energy of orbitals, so in that 4s and 3d, if you calculate the energy, by applying n plus L rule. By applying n plus L rule. So n plus L rule if you apply, 4s means 4 n is equal to 4, L is equal to 0, 4 plus 0 is 4. Then 3D means n is equal to 3, n is equal to 3. Then D is nothing but L is equal to 2. So 3 plus 2, 5. So between 4 and 5, the energy is very gap, whatever gap is there, it is very small. Energy gap is very small. So where if you consider 1s and 2s, now 1 plus 0 that is 1, 2 plus 0 that is 2. So almost 50% difference is there between 1s and 2s. But that difference is not there in a 3D and 4s where the energy difference is very small. So due to that reason, the small energy difference between 3D and 4s. So if you compare 1s and 2s, there is a large energy difference. Due to this small energy difference, what happens? The penultimate cell 3D and valence cell 4s, the energy difference is very small. That's why the electrons are present in the 3D as well as 4s. The electrons present in the 3D and 4s will participate in the chemical bonding. So whatever the energy difference between 3D and 4s is very small, and the electron present in 3D and 4s will take part in the chemical bonding. Hence the transition metals are having variable oxidation states. So 1 or 2 mark important. They may ask you, give reason, 1 or 2 marks, why the D block elements are having variable oxidation state, or why transition metals are having variable oxidation state. So why? Because the energy difference between 3D and 4s is small. That's why the electron present in 3D and 4s will participate in the bonding, chemical bonding. Hence the D block elements are having variable oxidation state. Either you can write the difference between penultimate cell and valence cell is very small. The energy difference between penultimate cell orbital and valence cell orbital is very small. Hence those electrons will participate in the bonding. Hence they are having variable oxidation states. Now you take the examples of 3D series, first transition series, that is from scandium to zinc. Now see, scandium is atomic number 21. Scandium is atomic number 21. So electronic configuration is 4s2 3d1. So 4s is completely filled and 3d only one unpaired electron is present. So scandium electronic configuration is argon 18, 3d1 4s2. Now 4s is completely filled, that is 2 electrons are there, and in 3d only one electron, that is unpaired electron. Now we want to see the oxidation state of scandium. For that there is a formula. What is that formula? Minimum oxidation state. Minimum oxidation state is equal to number of electron from 4s. The minimum oxidation state of a D block element of transition metal is number of electrons present in 4s. Now how many electrons are present in 4s? 2 electron. That's why the minimum oxidation state is plus 2. Minimum oxidation state is plus 2. Then maximum oxidation state. So maximum oxidation state means the total number of electron from 4s. Total number of electron from 4s plus the number of unpaired electrons in 3D. Either one more formula. Maximum oxidation state is equal to minimum oxidation state plus number of unpaired electrons in 3D. Now in 4s how many electrons are there? 2 plus. So how many unpaired electrons in 3D? 1. So that's why plus 3 is the maximum oxidation state. So scandium is having plus 2 and plus 3. So like that, if you calculate for titanium, 3D to 4s2, again plus 2 is a minimum oxidation state and plus 4 is a maximum. So in between plus 2 and plus 4, one more oxidation state comes, plus 3, that is also possible. So plus 2, plus 3, plus 4. If you come to the vanadium, 3D3 4s2, again plus 2 is the minimum oxidation state, plus 5 is a maximum, then plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. So plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5 is possible. So chromium 3d5 4s1. So again, sorry, chromium is the exceptional case. The electronic configuration is 4s1 3d5. The electronic configuration is 4s1 3d5. The minimum number of electrons present in 4s is, or the number of electrons present in 4s is 1. That's why chromium is having plus 1 oxidation state, as well as 1 plus 5, 6. So 6 is a maximum oxidation state. So plus 1 to plus 6, all oxidation states are possible for chromium. So plus 6 plus 3 means chromic, plus 2 means chromous. So how Fe is there? Fe plus 2 is ferrous, Fe plus 3 is ferric. Now take an example, manganese atomic number is 25, 3d5 4s2. So again the number of electron present in 4s is 2. So minimum oxidation state is plus 2. So maximum oxidation state plus 2 plus 5 unpaired electrons, 2 plus 5, 6 plus 1, 7. So plus 2 to 7 all oxidation states are possible in manganese. So in a 3D series or in the first transition series, the highest oxidation state is possible for only manganese, that is plus 7. The highest oxidation state will be for manganese. 1 mark, easy to remember. Okay, 1 mark, remember it, easy to remember. Manganese is having highest oxidation state in first transition series. Then, so maximum oxidation state is plus 7 shown by the manganese in a 3D series. So next iron 26, 3d6 4s2. Again minimum oxidation state is plus 2. Then plus 2 and 4 unpaired electrons are there. So total here again plus 2 to plus 6 Fe. Then cobalt 27 is there. So minimum oxidation state is plus 2. Then 7 electrons, 3 unpaired. So 5 plus 2 to plus 5 oxidation states are possible. Same way nickel 3d8 4s2. So 2 electrons plus 2 is a common. So other than that, so 2 unpaired, 2 plus 2 4. So plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Then copper 3d10 4s1. 3d10 4s1. So here also plus 1 oxidation state is possible because 3d10 4s1 configuration is there. Then other than that, the number of unpaired electrons, the number of unpaired electrons. So the number of electron in 4s plus number of unpaired electrons in 3d. So 4s is 1 unpaired electron. So 1 electron, 1 plus a number of unpaired in 3d is 0. So plus 1 is possible. So if the 1 electron from 3d, if it jumps to 4s, that time you will get one more unpaired electron. So that time you will get the plus 2 oxidation state is also possible. Plus 2 oxidation state is also possible for copper. Then next zinc 4s2 3d10. So here it is possible only minimum oxidation state, that is plus 2. Even for electron jump there is no place or there is no free orbitals. So that's why zinc is having only plus 2 oxidation state. And plus 1 chromium and copper. Highest oxidation state, that is manganese. Highest oxidation state is manganese. Plus 1 oxidation state is for chromium and copper, and zinc is having only plus 2 oxidation state. So this is about oxidation state of the D block elements. Then the common oxidation state of D block elements, that is a 3D series or first transition series, is plus 2. Common oxidation state is plus 2. So other than that, copper and chromium are having plus 1. Remember it. So some relative stability. So already we have studied about stability. Titanium plus 4 is more stable than titanium plus 3. So due to vacant and due to one electron is there. In Fe plus 3 and Fe plus 2, Fe plus 3 is more stable because half filled orbitals are there. Then in D block elements, the highest oxidation state in their fluorides and oxides. If D block element combines with oxygen or halogen like fluorine, then the D block element or transition element is having highest oxidation states. So the highest oxidation state shown by the D block elements. So in 3D series manganese, that is plus 7. So in overall D block element is osmium, that is plus 8. So only in first transition series or in 3D series is manganese, that is plus 7. And in overall D block element in osmium, that is plus 8, that is plus 8 oxidation state.